everyone, this is Direbeatz and welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at Aliens Fireteam Elite and I'm going to be showing you the locations of all of the pieces of intel, or simply put, the collectibles that you can find in each mission in the game. Before we get started, I'd just like to mention that if you find this video useful, please leave a comment and like the video, and if you want to see more content like this in the future, please hit that subscribe button and click the bell icon to be notified when new videos are released. So what is intel? Intel in Aliens Fireteam Elite are hidden items that you can find in each mission and in the Endeavour, the colonial marine ship that you inhabit when you're not on mission. Each piece of intel that you find gives you unique information on the lore of the game and of the wider film franchise. If you're a fan of the Aliens movie franchise, then you might be interested in finding these to learn more about what's going on in the universe in 2202. Each piece of intel unlocks some unique dialogue options with some of the ship's crew, which gives you more information about Katanga, LV-895, and things that Weyland-Yutani have been getting up to that not a lot of people know about. If you skip this dialogue by mistake, or you have trouble listening to these master ventriloquists, you can always look in your inventory under Intel and play the logs again. If you're not big on the lore yourself, you may simply want to collect these for game completion and to claim that achievement. One final thing to mention, at the time this video was made, a couple of pieces of intel in The Gift of Fire are bugged. Don't worry though, because you can still find and collect these in mission, but they just won't appear as being found in your inventory. Anyway, let's get into the rest of the video and reveal the intel locations. The Endeavour. The first piece of intel in the Endeavour can be found by Bay 1 near where the power loader is being repaired. Remember this from the movie where Ripley says, "Get away from her, you bitch!" But anyway, there is a crate nearby that you can collect. The next one is near the very back of the hangar where you find a flag on the floor. The final piece is up in what I call the command centre, where Colonel's ship can be found. Turn left as you walk in to find the Endeavour plaque on the wall. Priority 1, Ingress. Kill the first Xeno you find in the start of the mission and take a left. At the end of the corridor, on the left, you will find the Katanga black box. Progress through the mission until you get to the large room with the first triggered encounter. Head across to the far right of the room and, ooh, a hidden cache. You'll find a dead facehugger on the floor behind some crates. Keep going and you'll reach this room with an ammo crate on the left, where you'll be rushed by a few Xenos as soon as you enter. Take them out, head down the stairs and bear left to find a folder. Priority 1, Rescue. At the beginning of the mission, run through the doors and take the first left. You'll find a magazine surrounded by empty cans on a table. The second piece is found after you've survived the first triggered encounter. Head down the stairs and enter the room on the right about halfway down and you'll find this busted synth, and next to him a container of his lubricant. The last piece in this mission is found after you unlock the door to the server room before you first meet Monica. There is a Working Joe repair tool on the workbench at the back of the room on the left. Priority 1, Extract. As soon as you start the mission, don't even think about going through that door. Instead, turn around and search behind the elevator to find Honeka's keycard. Now, the next two pieces are basically right at the end of the mission. So, kill your way through the bugs. Kill, kill, more killing, even more killing. Explosions! Eventually, you'll make it to the Beltway. Search behind the barrier, taking out any sneaky boys in the process. Ooh, a hidden cache. Then, find a flight manifest on top of whatever this thing is. Keep killing your way to the final room of the mission, where you'll find the final piece of intel. This cap over on the crate to the left as you enter the room. Giants in the Earth Insertion. In the first room, paint the ceilings with acid blood, then search the Weyland-Yutani tent on the right side of the room to collect your Aspen beer. At roughly the middle of the mission, when you enter the long room that opens up to the right, kill off the Xenos, then head to the far right corner of the room to collect the second piece of intel on top of some Weyland equipment. Finally, at the very last encounter of the mission, after you've crossed the long bridge, once you've wasted the warrior, head left and move around the right side of the landing pad to collect the cowboy hat. This one. That's right, this one. Giants in the Earth, Contact. Walk through the first doorway, give a nod to the giant head that greets you, and find the first piece of intel on the crate slightly to the right. You can't miss this. Later in the mission, when you find this sphere in the middle of the room, search to the right to find your next piece of intel. The last piece of intel is in the final room. Battle it out with the synths and fend off the Xenos. Once you've killed everything, head to the right of the door where you finish the mission until you find a wasted synth whose white, pasty guts are covering this hat. Giants in the earth, evacuate. In the first room, where you need to use a synth power cell to overload the door control, and once you've ruined these robots, head to the left of the room from where you first entered to find a folder on top of the Wayland equipment. Next, in the working Joe room near the end of the mission, pop some heads and clear a path through the maintenance in. Head up the stairs on the left and pop another head whilst you're at it, before turning left to find Cynthia's ID card. In the final room, where all hell breaks loose, search under the ramps on the left of the room to find this panel. Then proceed to pop even more heads. The Gift of Fire, Recon. Before you go anywhere, make a U-turn and head to the circular structure behind you. Someone was nice enough to leave this laptop unlocked. I'll fix that. Progress through the mission until you get to this room full of pillars. Head to the furthest ramp on the right of the room to claim your intel on top of this crate. Warning, this is one of the bugged pieces that won't show up in your inventory back in the Endeavour. As you near the end of the mission, you'll see another one of these spheres. Head into the, headroom, where you need to set up the scanners. Check at the very back for this pathogen jar next to this comms device. This piece is also bugged and will not be marked as found outside of the mission. The Gift of Fire, Advance. Plough through the first couple of rooms of Xenos until you get to this ammo crate. Move into the next room, where on the right you'll find some bugs for stomping, and on the left you'll find some documents just laying there on the crate. Later in the mission, when you enter this room, fight the waves of Xenos until you get to the engineer instrumentality at the other end, and head through the next doorway, trace around to the right for, ooh, a hidden cache, and more intel. In the very next room, run up the slope to the left and find this dead pathogen critter for your last piece of intel. The Gift of Fire, Boarding. Progress through the mission and get yourself scanned. Murder some mutants, and make your way to this room with all the chairs. You'll find an engineer helmet sat in one of them on the right. In the next main room you come to, where you find the dismembered synth, head down the slope and search behind the terminals on the left to find this severed Leon tentacle. Towards the end of the mission, where you find the iconic pilot seat that looks like a huge cannon. Search the panels on the left to get the engineer flute. The only way to be sure, breach. Plough through the beginning of the mission killing Xenos, filling turrets and breaking bots. If you're lucky enough to be sent to this turret room and survive the waves of Xenos, hop over the barrier and take a peek in the first connecting passage between the corridors for this crate. When you get to the next room where you need to refill turret ammo, outlast the bugs, then make your way over to the left wall of the room to find this intel on this table. Next, head down the long tunnel until you eventually meet the edge of the hive. Fry some eggs and make your way over to the doorway on the right to pick up this spitter gland. The only way to be sure, search. Battle your way down the first main corridor of the mission and head all the way to the end and around to the left to claim this melted helmet. Later in the mission, when you reach the stairwell, head down a couple of flights and then check the crates on the left before you reach the bottom to find this Hyperdyne file. Once you reach the catwalk, scattered with eggs and flares left by the blue team, head right along the first catwalk until you reach the end. Then, search down the stairs on the right for this intel. During the final mission, the only way to be sure, regicide, reach the first triggered encounter room, avoid getting torn to shreds by the big nasties, then search up the stairs to the back left of the room for these Xeno shellings. Survive the hive until you make it to this ammo crate in the maze-like room full of eggs. Move forwards and stay left, scrambling eggs as you go, until you reach this file on the three-world empire laying on these crates. Make your way to the elevator that you'll use to exit the mission and keep heading through the tunnels until you reach this flooded room. You'll face off against not one, but two big bads. Close the doors on the last Praetorian, then keep left and head to the back of the room to retrieve Colonel Ship's dog tags on this tray. And with that, you've collected all of the pieces of intel available in the game. Head back to the Endeavour and fill your brain with all that alien know-how, or maybe just enjoy some of that regulation cornbread. All that leaves is for me to say I hope you found this video useful, and if you did, please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Aliens Fireteam Elite content coming soon. See you next time.